You cooked across the US.
Yes, sir.
And you also were cooking at the White House.
That's
right?
correct. Yes, that's correct.
How proud were you to be able to represent this country?
We did 62 cities in 100 days. To be able to have a conversation about culture and our part of the world and religion over barbecue is an opportunity you would not get if you paid them to come to a conference room and dressed in a suit and said, I'm going to talk to you about the history of the Arabian Peninsula.
There's a lot of sporting celebs that come here.
Yeah.
What do they say? What's their feedback?
We've had a lot of people from the Premier League. One guy tells another guy that tells another guy that tells another guy, and we're just word of mouth. None of them are expecting what they get, so it's always a unique experience for them.
Welcome back, JKP soldiers. Hope all is good in the hood. We have a super special guest coming up for you on today's show. Smoke, soul, storytelling. Hattem Mattar is in the building. On this episode, live from Time Out Market Dubai, I talked to the pitmaster about how he turned a backyard barbecue into an incredible movement. He is one of the genuine, most nicest guys you'll ever meet. So, time to rock and roll. Welcome to the Chef JKP Podcast, live with me, James Knight-Paccheco. Ladies and gents, thank you so much. Welcome. Now, we have got our second installation. We have an incredible guest for you. But first, please don't forget to follow, share, and subscribe to the podcast. At the same time, follow Chef JKP Podcast on Instagram and Time Out Market Dubai for all of the incredible things that you're going to be seeing today. Now, our second guest. Not only is he a black belt in jiu-jitsu, not only is he about to have some incredible shows on Netflix that I can't talk about just yet, but he is much loved in the region, and he is one of the only amazing pitmasters to have ever gone to the US and showed them what to do. Ladies and gents, please give a warm round of applause and a huge welcome to Hattem Mattar. So, ladies and gents, I don't know if you know, but also Hattem used to actually be in Rage Against the Machine back in the day. He was the drummer.
Yeah,
so,
that was my side hustle.
General knowledge for you.
Yes.
Hattem, a very warm welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Really, it's
life full circle for us.
It's amazing that you're here.
Thank you,
Finally, we get to chat.
Thank you.
Now, for you, as a chef, and what you do these days, first of all, I want to ask, what does it mean for you to be here in Time Out Market Dubai?
To be part of Time Out Market Dubai is, I think, first of all, an honor, because all of the concepts and the people behind the concepts are part of a community. And when you're recognized to be part of that community, it's not just a feather in your cap, but it's motivation, right? To stay further connected, to do better work for that community, and to represent that community very well. And we're talking about community of food, but the community that we're talking about is the city of Dubai. And who on planet Earth doesn't know the city of Dubai now, you know? So it's almost like if you're at Time Out Market, you're an ambassador for the city.
But look, I want to go back, first of all, to when you were first starting out and people were calling you and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. For those people who don't know that story, just remind us.
Yeah. So I left a promising multi-billion-dollar career in oil and gas. I didn't leave, actually. I got fired. But I had a day job. That was my Bruce Wayne. I had a suit. I had a tie. I presented to national governments, and that was going really well, and it paid me very well. And then by night, I was Batman, and I was saving people one brisket at a time, apron on, you know. Totally superhero moment. And then people would call my work line, and I'm like, you know, up at the front presenting to people and my phone is going off nonstop. So I would excuse myself. I'd say, just a second, I got to get this. And I'm like, hello? And they're like, hello, could I order 3 kilos of wings and 1 brisket? I'm like, man, this is a word. Don't call this number. And then eventually it got big enough, word of mouth, until it turned into what you see here. And now I'm Batman full time, so I'm no longer Bruce Wayne.
Very good. Batman full time.
Yeah.
So then I want to go back to the moment when you were first asked to be here.
Oh, yes.
You know, first of all, how did you take the news?
Yeah.
Secondly, how did you curate that phenomenal menu?
When we were first asked to be here, it was, first of all, I'm like, are you sure you have the right number? Really? No, honestly, I was like, first of all, you should, because you know who's here. Like, look who our neighbor is. You just had him on. One of the best chefs in the city. He's got such a legacy here. People know him by name. Shout out to Reef Othman.
Legend.
He's not listening, but it's okay. It was such a big deal for us to be included in that sentence. And then further down, we had Nick and Scott, remember?
Yeah.
And the excellence that is Musty. And everybody that was on that list was like a who's who of their domain. And at the time, for us to be called, it meant that we were the who's who of barbecue, which was like, okay, fine, I should be here. We should be here. And I was like, okay, now we've got to prove ourselves, because it's not just a pop-up anymore. We're not just doing it Thursday, Friday, Saturday. No, this is the big leagues. Show up. You have to do all of the work that you've earned your spot. Now you have to prove it, you know? And so we curated literally the hit list of what would get people to queue for 2 hours at Cercal.
Yeah.
And, you know, guess what happened when we opened up? They queued for 2 hours at Time Out Market.
But how did that make you feel when, you know, people are literally queuing for your beautiful food?
Yeah. I was incredulous at first. And then I was driven to make sure that the consistency of our barbecue, 7 days a week. Back in the day, there was no breakfast, so it was lunch and dinner. 7 days a week, lunch and dinner, that we were consistent with every single meal, you know? And from someone who does not come from culinary, didn't go to school for it, it was a Herculean task to be oriented on the front of house side. That's customer service. I think that's a character thing.
Right.
But to be excellent in the kitchen is an acquired skill. And you acquire it, and then you use it. But we were acquiring it and using it at the same time, which was bananas, you know?
But I was going to say, with your team, how did you then become accustomed to, you know, having, you know, thousands of people coming and having that brisket and the wings and all of that kind of stuff?
All of the guys and girls that make up the Mattar institution are people that not necessarily come from barbecue, but come from service and hospitality, and then come from the grit of a very, what's it called, competitive kitchen. So like an Egyptian kitchen, a Lebanese kitchen, a Mashawi kitchen, so they're comfortable around fire. We're all from different walks of life, different nationalities, but at the end of the day, we all speak the same language. And I think barbecue is that, because of all of the cuisines here, the only cuisine, and I say this with the greatest of humility, the only cuisine here at Time Out Market that every country on the planet eats is barbecue. So our team that we put together actually represents all of the barbecues of their countries, and we've kind of almost put that on a plate and on the menu. We've adjusted techniques, we've adjusted spices, sauces, how to hold, how not to hold, how to slice. We put all of that together on a plate every single day.
No, but that's the other thing is I wanted to understand, you know, third culture.
Correct,
right?
sir.
We all talk about third culture, but you're really doing it.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, you know, you had menu 1 in year 1, let's say, right?
Yeah.
You smash down the techniques, you smash down the spices.
Yeah.
So then how do you almost Dubai-ify it, if you like?
Nice, good question.
Because it's really important to understand the spicing, the city, what people, and you're here in this phenomenal location.
Yeah.
So how do you then put all of that knowledge and all of that love and care into that menu?
You know we make a brisket mandy, right?
No, I didn't know.
So
Now I know.
Yeah, we put brisket on top of Yemeni, mandy, the one that you sit down and eat with your hands. And it was literally not having to reinvent the wheel. What is the best dish out of the region that is eaten every Friday, groups of friends, girls or guys, right? And it has a protein on top. It's chicken, it's fish, it's lamb. And we just put our brisket on top of it and perfected the mandy. I would say, this is obviously my opinion, so much so that it's a unique dish and the only place you can get it on the planet. We're the only people on the planet that make brisket mandy.
Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the spicing of the brisket for that man. Tell me.
Sure. So shout out Hattem, my mom. Hattem makes a dish, an Egyptian dish called kebab halla, which is basically just, anybody here know what kebab halla is? Yeah, there we go, kebab halla. Okay, nice. Kebab
They know.
Okay, so kebab halla is a very Egyptian dish. Salt and pepper, buhar helw, which is like a 7 spices type spice. And we use the kebab halla spice on our brisket. So when people have it abroad, when we cooked at the embassy, like you said, people are like, I know this is brisket, but I know it's not brisket, you know? So we basically just used essentially the ingredients of the region, the technique that we learned in Texas, and then put them on a dish from somewhere else in the region. And that's literally those 3 cultures on a plate every time you eat.
But also what I think is super cool, and I'm not going to name names, but there's a lot of like sporting celebs that come here, you know, from whether they're from the UFC or whether they're from basketball. They come and they try the barbecue. What do they say? What's their feedback?
So a lot of them are references like word of mouth. Like we've had a lot of people from the Premier League. One guy tells another guy that tells another guy that tells another guy, and we're just word of mouth. None of them are expecting what they get. So it's always a unique experience for them. So they're like, oh my God, what is this? Tell me about where this comes from. Tell me about this dish. What does this mean? It's always a conversation piece. And it gets to be, like I said, an ambassadorship for the city. They're like, oh, but I've been to Texas. I'm like, it doesn't say Texas barbecue on our thing, on the back of our shirt. On the back of this shirt, actually. It says Third Culture Barbecue. So it is Texas technique, but it is barbecue that we've made for ourselves and for the city.
But the other thing is, Hattem, is that, you know, you also have a farm.
Yes,
Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
You're also running this incredible farm, and you're also taking on the job as a teacher of smoking and pitmaster and things like this, but you're taking it to another level. Why did you decide to also showcase those secrets?
You know, they're actually, if you know, everybody has a rabbit hole, whether you're talking about like, you know, football or barbecue or F1, there's a rabbit hole for every one of those segments. And the rabbit hole of barbecue, if you go down the rabbit hole of barbecue, is there are no secrets in barbecue. Everybody knows when to wrap a brisket. Everybody knows the temperature that you take chicken off. But no matter where you go, everybody's got like a little twist to their thing, which makes it their own. So once you teach someone how to barbecue, what they do with it afterwards is like you teaching them how to, they're not going to paint like you. You gave them the paintbrush, you gave them the canvas, and you gave them the colors. That is in no way, shape, or form a guarantee that their painting is going to be like yours. So I think barbecue is art, obviously, because I'm, you know, it's something that I do every day. And teaching somebody how to do that gets more people doing the art. And I know people that came to our classes that are now doing this full time, number one. So it allowed them to pursue a dream. And number two, that I went to for advice afterwards. I'm like, how did you do this? They're like, you taught me. I'm like, no, I didn't teach you this. You innovated this. Please show me. So it elevates. The more people are doing the thing that you're doing, if you are the first to do it, everybody says, hey, congratulations, you're the first. But then your claim to fame has to be that you're the best to do it. And we say that. And the only way to be the best is if everyone is doing it and you're still chasing that number one, because number two is hot on your tail. So that's why we did it.
So as you mentioned before, we just had Rafe on the show, and he was talking about everything to do with when he went to Time Out Market in New York and Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you also cooked across the US.
Yes, sir.
Representing the UAE, which is incredible.
Thank you.
and you also were cooking at the White House,
That's
right?
correct. Yes, that's correct.
What a moment, because I want to understand from your point of view, how proud were you to be able to represent this country with a cuisine that sort of connects us all?
You know, when we did that summer, we did 62 cities in 100 days. If you can imagine. Who said woo? Yeah, thank you very much. Tough crowd. We did 62 cities in 100 days. And some of the cities that we went to, like in California, they were so happy to have us because California is like a big melting pot and everybody's super welcoming. I can't say some of the things that they said when we got to Texas, but I was like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, oh man, I'm here to hang out with you and like teach you how to make brisket. They're like, why the F you doing that? You know what I mean? So to be able to have a conversation about culture and our part of the world and religion and history and all of those things over barbecue is an opportunity you would not get if you paid them to come to a conference room and dressed in a suit and said, I'm going to talk to you about the history of the Arabian Peninsula. You know what I mean? So we were super proud to get that opportunity. And then we really drove it home that we didn't bring up anything until we had put food on the table. When we were wearing remember our orange apron?
Yes.
It was camel leather, bright orange. It had the El Cid calligraphy on it. Just that apron showing up to the barbecue battle in Washington, D.C., we fed 10,000 people in one day. And
10,000 people in a day.
Thank you very much. We fed 10,000 people in one day. So most of the time, people didn't even look up that it said UAE, right? But they looked and they were like, what is that apron? I'm like, oh, this is camel leather. Camel leather, where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from Dubai. They're like, Dubai, where is that? I'm like, in the Middle East. They're like, oh, you mean like Pakistan? I'm like, no, not like Pakistan. And then we had to have the conversation. But the conversation only happened after they'd eaten. If I was handing out flyers and say, hey, come learn about, no, but
Right.
everybody would walk by you. But if you put barbecue on the table, everybody sits down to eat.
So that was your way of connecting them, right?
Correct.
I think it's phenomenal. But at the same time, the other thing that I have to congratulate you on, number one, there's a rumor, I know it's not a rumor, that you're in Emirates first class,
That's true.
which is incredible. Number one, congratulations.
That's true. Thank you very much.
Secondly, you're across Spinney's supermarkets
That's
and
correct
Waitrose,
also.
which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank you very much.
So, and considering that, where you came from, and
know,
it started
I
off
know.
super humble.
In my backyard.
In your backyard.
Yeah.
And it's still there.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I swear to God, this is not a rumor. And thank you for that, by the way. The smoker that we're using to churn out some of the brisket at our events is the smoker I started on in 2014, and it's still working. I changed the grate, and the door looks like it's been through
Yeah.
some work, but it's still working.
But how is that then? How does it make you feel coming from such humble beginnings to then being able to not only spread the word as to what you're doing, but people from all over the world can taste your food, and at the same time, if you're from here,
Yeah.
you can literally go and buy it in the supermarket.
You know, I tell this to everybody, and it applies to everyone doing anything anywhere across the world. The only thing you can do when you wake up in the morning is take the step in front of you, right? And sometimes you're aware that 300 kilometers down the road is out. There's a giant fire. There's a dragon. There's no bridge, but you have to get to the other side of that, right? And everyone's like, oh, well, what about the 300 kilometers down the road when you're still here? All you do is you take the step in front of you, aware that there are things down the road that you don't know how to solve. If you just take the step in front of you that day, it's super easy because it's just the one step. And then the next one after that, the day after that. When you get to that part of the journey, somewhere along the journey, you'll have figured out how to get through the fire, how to jump the bridge, how to get rid of the dragon. And when you look back past that obstacle, the only thing you will have done is take the step in front of you. So you can look at our path and see that it was linear and that we made mistakes and we learned a lot and we lost a few things along the way. We had to start from scratch, and it looks now like it's an overnight success. But what people don't know is in 1999. This is not a rumor also. In 1999, I opened Dubai's first hot dog stand. So that's 26 years of overnight success. I've been doing this for a very long time. And the only thing I did was just take the step in front of me that day.
And are you still serving hot dogs here?
We're making chorizo, the world's best. We make that from scratch. We smoke it over oak. If you have not had our chorizo, I recommend it for a happy day or a sad day. Celebrate or cure your breakup with a chorizo sandwich.
Very good.
Thank you.
So look, but if you, again, looking forward,
Yeah.
because I know you've got many projects in the pipeline, what are you sort of really excited about? Because I'll tell you something. First of all, in 2020, did we not know what was going to happen over the last 5 years, especially when it comes to gastronomy in this part of the world?
Of course.
Now, everybody is coming here. Everybody wants to be here. The best chefs are coming here. But for me, the most important people are those homegrown heroes like yourself.
Thank you, sir.
How do you see the gastronomic landscape within the next 3, 4, 5 years?
I think Time Out does a really good job of keeping the market relevant to the scene and then keeping the market relevant to the global food scene. You'll see the market, Time Out market evolves once, twice, 3 times since it's opening, right? It's not the same concepts. And they keep pushing the envelope with different versions of cuisines that are now front and center. Like if it was number one, and I don't mean commercially, and I don't mean in the social media sense, Time Out Market is still the city's best. And the city's best isn't the same every year, right? So what was when they first opened and what is currently at the market is different. So I'm really excited that to be part of Time Out Market's kind of ever-changing landscape and to be like a linchpin as part of that, because that means we're still providing the city's best and we're still relevant to the city. And then the thing that I'm really excited about is to get to travel to another Time Out Market and represent our cuisine, maybe in South Africa, maybe in Portugal, maybe in Montreal, maybe in Chicago, but to be a visiting chef at another Time Out Market and show them what Dubai is really about.
I think that's amazing because there's so much to, from your point of view. How do you then at the same time keep an eye on all of your brands that you have here? Because you're incredibly busy and it's not easy to split yourself into a million pieces.
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
With great difficulty, honestly, but an excellent team, really strong support at home, and just the idea to break down the giant challenges into smaller things and then do the thing that fixes the challenge of today, and then tomorrow, and then the day after. So Time Out Market has its challenges. We address those today. Then tomorrow, Time Out Market might have challenges as well, but the Spinneys thing needs to be addressed today, so we address Spinneys. Then we go back to Time Out Market.
Right.
There's a constant chicken or egg. In order to scale, you need to hire people, and in order to hire people, you need to scale. And I'm still like responsible for the brand, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. So without conceding or ceding control to someone, it's hard, especially in a city like this. But I'm super excited at the story that we get to tell, that everyone doing anything anywhere is capable of doing it if they stick to it.
Now, before we get to the famous quick fire questions, if I was a guest for the first time ever in Time Out Market Dubai and I'm coming to your beautiful little restaurant, what is the one dish that they have to try?
I know that one with my eyes closed. It's a dish that impressed our GM, and our GM knows his way around food very well. So when I saw his face when he had it, like he's eating and he's tried out several things. I know what he knows what I'm gonna say. He eats and he knows his food. He knows his ingredients. He knows how things go together. So I gave him a dish called fatir, and it's an Egyptian pastry that is filled with there's a dessert version. But again, we make the only fatir that has barbecue inside it. And the guy that's making our fatir is the guy that's been making fatir for our family since I was 15 years old. So he's not just a chef that we know. There's history with the family. We've known each other since we were kids.
So he's an artisan.
We used to go to him with the change in our pockets because he was the apprentice at the fatir place. So he was 4 years older than me. So we would give him the change in our pockets before we left and like, listen, we don't have a lot of money. Could you just make us a fatir with this? And he would whip up something with whatever we could afford with our pockets. And now he's making it for royalty, for famous people, and making it every day at Time Out Market.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So for the quick fire, first of all,
Ready.
sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Sweet.
100%. My love is here, and she's trying to get me to turn into an adult and stop eating like 4 Reese's a day, half a tub of strawberry cheesecake ice cream, non-stop Kit Kat. Like I'm on a break like every 15 minutes of the day. I'm trying. Wallah,
Good
I'm
work.
trying.
Good
Thank
work.
you. I'm trying.
Spicy or pickled?
Oh, pickled. Pickled. Yeah,
100%?
pickled. Pickled. Yeah. Is this like a character profile? Are you going to tell me who I am?
I am psychoanalyzing.
I'm a Libra. I like long walks on the beach.
What's your favorite late night snack or bite in Dubai?
Oh, in Dubai, late night snack, if you can get it, and it's not sold out, Ravi in Satwa makes an incredible nihari with a side of ginger. And when you go, ask them for extra ginger so they know you're a G and you're not a tourist. Go to Ravi, ask for a nihari, and ask them for extra ginger.
I love that.
And by the way, don't operate heavy machinery after that meal. Like that meal is khalas. Go to sleep after that. Finish.
Now, who would be your dream guest that you would love to cook for them in terms of like live fire, celebrity-wise?
Dave Chappelle.
Because?
Thank you. I was close last year, but they took him to the Louvre, and I'm not as
How
cool.
dare they?
I'm not as cool as the Louvre.
In one word, please describe the Dubai food scene.
Competitive.
Whoa. I was expecting dynamic.
No, competitive.
Competitive.
You know what? Actually, I think this is a metric. Argyris, please correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, Time Out does a get together of Time Out London, not the markets. I mean the publications of how the food landscape is in all of the Time Out publications. I think it was 2 years ago that all of the Time Outs got together across the world, and they were sharing nightlife advice and news and how the scenes are evolving and stuff like that. And I think it was decided in between London and New York and Dubai and Hong Kong and all of the places that Time Out exists, that Dubai was the most competitive food city in the world. Is that correct? Yeah, you see? So I wasn't wrong. My source is Time Out. There we go.
I like it.
At the Time Out Market, yeah.
Hattem, I have to say, I could spend another 3-4 hours here.
We should.
However, it's been absolutely incredible.
Thank you for
I
having
wish
me.
you nothing but the best.
Thank you, sir.
Love and luck, and I know that you're going to smash it. Ladies and gents, please give a huge round of applause to the incredible Hattem Mattar. Food is memories. From fire to fame, Hattem keeps it real and keeps it slow cooked. That, gang, is the secret. Low and slow. A massive thank you to Hattem for sharing his journey. Go and check out his amazing food at Time Out Market Dubai, who, by the way, are the sponsors of the show, so give them a cheeky follow too. Don't forget to hit that follow, subscribe, and share button wherever you get your podcast, and hit that subscribe button on YouTube so we can get all of the most incredible guests and give you this content for free. So, gang, until next time, food is memories.